Hey there, guys, it's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. I'm going to teach very simply three ways that you can hit 6 or 7 figures simply packaging your knowledge. Packaging your knowledge. And the coolest thing is that this is something that's available to almost anyone, whether you have a soft skill, something that you just naturally do and you're talented at, and you've created transformation in the lives of the people around you, or it's something that you do professionally. You're going to benefit tremendously from what I'm going to teach today. If you've been trying to figure out how to take your knowledge, your education, your expertise, and how can you package it in a way that you could monetize what you know, I'm going to break that all down for you today. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started my company over 20 years ago. I can't believe I'm saying that. And I wanted simply to figure out how to take my knowledge and how to package my knowledge, my soft skill in motherhood initially. I had these systems, these mom systems that so many women would ask me about. And I knew that I could create impact on a greater scale with what I knew how to do. And I also have a background, professional background as a corporate trainer. So curriculum design and development is just something that comes natural to me. And I knew that there was a bigger need for my skills and talents professionally. And maybe that's you too. Maybe it's a question that you've asked yourself over the years. How can you go to work as yourself? That was the question that I wanted to have answered when I got started in my business years ago. And there were a couple of things that I didn't know. I wanted to figure out that was there a market for me being myself, for me taking my knowledge and my background, my skill set? Was there a market for me to share my knowledge? Now I knew on a small scale that there were people who benefited from my knowledge, whether they were in my community or organizations I was a part of, and obviously at work. But I wanted to know in a bigger way, could I take this to market? And I'm so grateful that I bet on myself, and I'm telling you to bet on yourself. If you find that people are coming to you all the time and asking you over and over again, how did you do this or that, whatever it is your expertise is, or maybe you've given advice to someone, a lot of people, same kind of advice, and they come back and say, thank you, I did exactly what you said, and it worked, then you are in the right place tonight. I'm going to teach three ways to package your knowledge into a 6 or 7 figure business. And likely these are thoughts that you've never had that are totally available to you in terms of taking your knowledge and your background. A little bit about me before we get started. I've been in business for 20 years. I've been married for 26 years. And my husband developed kidney disease about 13 years ago or so and went on dialysis. And it was a really scary time for my family. And I was so grateful, actually, that I had built a business when I didn't need a business, so that when my husband needed me most, I could show up for my family and stand in the gap. And it's the reason why I take a stand in supporting so many women, understanding that, a man is not a plan and your job is not a plan. You see, because I had created options for myself in my business, I could be there for my husband and my kids when they needed me most. And I have to be honest with you that what my husband needed most from me was time. He needed time to be able to heal and recover from a kidney transplant, and that's a pretty big deal. And if I were working in the conventional sense in corporate America, which is what my background was, I wouldn't have had the flexibility to show up for him the way that he needed, or to show up for my kids. I built a business so that I could create options for myself. Hi, LaTanya. I wanted to create options for myself. I wanted to create freedom. And I knew that working 9 to 7 for 40 plus years was not my path to success. It is not what I had envisioned for myself. What about you guys? Hi, Robin. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I wanted to figure out how to work from the comfort of my home or anywhere that I chose to. And I wanted to leverage my intellect and my background and my gifts and serve people and create impact. And I knew I could do it. Fast forward, I've done exactly that. I've had the opportunity to coach thousands of women literally around the world. I've been signed to Emmy nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. I equally have done all kinds of corporate partnerships with Fortune 100 and 500 brands. And when I got started, it was a dream. I just wanted to figure out how to leverage my background, my gifts, my talents. And my mastery is transferring what I know how to do, what I've done for myself that I can demonstrate to my clients. I've had tons of clients who equally have become lifestyle brands or who have replaced their JOB income, right, their salary, and renegotiated the way that they earned. I wanted freedom, and many of the women that are attracted to me want to renegotiate the way they work. They want freedom too. And if that's you, I want you to write, that is me. I wanted to work from anywhere. I wanted to work from my home office, but also if I chose to work anywhere that I wanted to, I could. And I knew I needed flexibility to be able to do that. And also, I needed to be able to trust myself. When I started my business, I didn't build the business for my kids. I built the business for my freedom. And I say that because so many women say, I'm starting a business, I'm building a business, and I'm doing this for my kids, I'm doing this for my family. But the truth of the matter was, I knew that if I couldn't get myself free, that I could never show up 100%, Sheila and Jacqueline. I couldn't show up for my family in the way that I wanted to. So the first order of business when I started my business was for me to figure out how to build a business with time freedom models. Today, I work about 7 hours a week servicing my clients from the comfort of my home or anywhere I am around the world. And I've taught my clients how to build a business that way as well. And many of them have renegotiated the way that they earn. They had a cap on their income. They had called a salary, okay? And they had to trade time for dollars in order for them to earn. And I showed them that there is a better way to live, and there is. All right. And so you're in for a treat tonight. It's a little bit about me. And if you are out of the box, if you are smart, if you are sharp, if you are ambitious, if you believe in self-investment, you're in the right place tonight. I'm going to teach 3 ways to be able to package your knowledge, okay, and to hit 6 or 7 figures. And I can tell you that you know, you can hit 8 figures. There's no limit in terms of what you can create. It's just based on your ability to implement and what you can see for yourself. I know a lot of the women that watch me, one of the reasons that you watch me is because you are here. You're right there. You know that you're the go-to person. Everybody comes to you and they want to know how you do what you do. And you're trying to figure out how not to give it all away, but instead to figure out how can you on a bigger scale package all that you bring to the table. It's my expertise, is what I teach my clients how to do. Primarily, the first step is the Giant Experience Master Training. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. We've had hundreds of women come through the Giant Experience Master Training, which is 45 days of access to my proprietary system. And in addition to that, 2 days live coaching where I unlock for you how to take that background you have and what structure it might be. And so today's live is really going to support you. So let's just talk about a couple things that maybe you haven't thought about before I jump into the 3 things that I'm going to share. The first thing, when you're starting a business and you want that business to be as tall as possible, as profitable and amazing as you desire, the first thing you need to be thinking about is how can you duplicate yourself? And I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that so many people make when they get started in business. They're used to, in their workplace, trading time for dollars. So when they start their business, they leave their jobs and they start a business with the exact same model of trading time for dollars. And instead, I show my clients how to compound their time and how to duplicate themselves. And it's what I've done over the years. I do the work once, and as a result of me doing the work once, okay, with the systems that I teach, you can earn over and over and over again with leveraging your IP and your intellect. And if you don't know anything about it, lean into this. This is really going to support you. The second thing that I want you to remember is you need to fully value your distinct transformation. So if you're thinking of running a business, it's so important to understand not what is it that you do like everyone else? What is it that you do that's different? There are always going to be people who have likeness to what you do or what you want to do. But I want you to think outside of the box. The question to answer is, what is it that you do that's different and amazing? I'll give you an example. I'll use myself. I'm a business coach and consultant, and I teach my clients how to package their knowledge into high ticket products on and offline. What is it that I do differently? One, I have a background as a corporate trainer. I understand curriculum development and design. I worked for a Fortune 100 company, and I understood also how to buy and sell high level content at the highest level. And I believe it's the reason why my clients, many of them who've never been in business before, who are buying and selling what they do, achieve significant results quicker, faster, sooner because of my background. I think also because in building my own business and brand, I've had the opportunity to be signed to Emmy nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent, in addition to having negotiated for myself high level corporate partnerships with Fortune 100 and 500 brands. I can speak the language to my clients of how to do it. So there's nothing that I teach is theoretical. Everything that I teach, I can back it up with proof. Okay, really important. And so you've got to think about you. What is it that you do that's distinct in the marketplace? Because there always are going to be people who have likeness to whatever it is that you want to do. But the question is, what does you do differently? I think one of the other things that I do that's exceptionally different is my clients, that implement, that do the work. Many of them very quickly have been able to take what they've learned from me and become profitable and sell what they have for $2,500 per client or $10,000 or 50 grand. And many of them have never sold anything before. Okay, never sold anything before. But as a direct result of me teaching them exactly what I've done, because I only teach what I've done, they've created amazing results. So I want you to think about yourself. Number 3, okay, you need to be able to showcase the results that only you can deliver. And that's really important. At the end of the day, how do you do that? We're talking about how to build an amazing business. And to me, this is the piece of thinking about it, is the only way I can showcase my results is that I'm going to teach you what I know how to do. And likely, I've created that result for myself that I can demonstrate. And I think when you're demonstrating proof, you're demonstrating proof currently, right? Because if you are great at what you do, you create results all the time. Do you guys agree? And also, there's likely a history of having created results with a diverse client base. Does that make sense? So a lot of my clients, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different backgrounds, careers, education. And the fact of the matter is they all are able to package what they're doing in very distinct ways and not with one cookie cutter solution. And that is because that's what I teach them how to do. So when I got started as a mom coach, I was told that my idea of mom coaching didn't make any sense and that no one would ever pay me to be myself. And maybe someone's told you to hold back, not be all of who you are, your business, and you thought that was the answer. But I'm telling you, you need to be able to showcase the things that you know how to do exceptionally well. And that means you got to show up 100% as yourself. Do you agree? And if you agree, then right, I agree. Okay. And the fourth thing is you have to understand the importance of charging what you're worth, because there's so many brilliant and amazing people out there. Hey there, Carla, brilliant and amazing. However, they are undercharging, undervaluing, and underselling what they're doing. And if that's you, it's the reason why you're doing what you're doing and you're loving what you're doing, but you can't see how it's going to be sustainable long term. You can't figure out how can you take what you're doing professionally, what you love to do, and how can you not only make a living, but create and design an amazing life that's unrecognizable for yourself. And I think one of the things so important is to understand how to properly value the transformation that you bring to the table. And for my clients, it's different for every single one of them. There's not one price for you. It's not. It's based on what you bring to the table. And I've got a unique system and consulting that I show you exactly what is the starting point for you. It's very important. And I think the other piece that sometimes we want to create results and we don't always think about the full picture. But I think one of the most powerful questions is asking yourself, how do I want to live when you start a business? Like, do you want to work from anywhere? Do you want to work from the comfort of your home? Do you want to work, somewhere else around the world? Do you want to work just 2 days a week in the office, or do you not want to go in the office? Thinking about, do you want to build this business around the lifestyle you desire? And that might mean that you want to be that mom like me that shows up at all the games, right, that your kids have. And you could be on all the committees, you can date your husband in the middle of the day because you're free. And you built a business model that's allowed you to show up most powerfully for the things that matter most to you. Because a lot of professionals are so used to having booked calendars, trading time for dollars, that they never factor lifestyle. And there's no reason to build a business, okay, without lifestyle. Okay, are we clear? All right, so now that we're on the same page, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to package your knowledge to hit 6 or 7 figures. And I'm going to pull back, Sonia, the layers. My only goal is to support you in thinking differently. And as a result of what you hear, to invite you to take that next step if something resonates and sign up for the Giant Experience Master Training, the next class. And I'll post the link here. It is an incredible training that shows you how you can take what you're doing and figure out how to leverage all of your background and your experience and package it into a high ticket product or service. I was on a coaching call with clients just 2 weeks ago or so, and I don't know if any of my clients are here or not. You guys can say if you heard it or not, if it's true or not, right? So, and one of my clients she runs a high level travel, she's a high level travel consultant. And when I met her, she was literally charging like $1,000 per client, per service. And as a result of us working together, she's been able to understand better how to price and value what she's doing. And now she charges, in excess, I know $7,000 per client. Just depends on what she's arranging. But she didn't understand how to properly price to value what she was doing. And because of that, she was building a business that was her dream, but she couldn't make a living out of that business because it wasn't as profitable as it could be. And maybe it's you. Maybe it's not your idea. Maybe it's your monetization model, and you need to understand a different way to be able to restructure your business. Got it? Got it. All right. So here are the 3 ways to package your knowledge into 6 or 7 figures. Number 1, the first thing is understanding that your IP is very, very valuable, your intellectual property. That means what you know how to do, with the problems you know how to solve. Likely you've solved some problems for yourself. And then you've also solved some problems for other people, maybe in the workplace, maybe just living life. You're the go-to person. And you find that, your life, the echo of your life is that people come to you always, right, in the exact same ways. And I found that to be true for me around motherhood. A lot of moms were coming to me, asking me questions about how to always find time for themselves because they didn't know how to create a system for their own self-care, right? When, as a mom, or as a new mom. And I was really great at that. So I was able to package my IP and create a curriculum to teach moms exactly what I had done. I was able to create a movement and support thousands of moms literally around the country in partnership with Fortune 100 brands, as well as to do television in front of millions of people as paid talent to coach and mentor moms and teach them my strategies. Now, this was a soft skill that I had. And I want to mention this because sometimes it might be a soft skill. It might be something you know how to do, like motherhood. It could be something like organizing, or it might be a hard skill, something that you've gone to school to learn at the highest level, something that you are proficient at from work, and it's your expertise. But know that, number 1, you can license your IP. And what that means is that there is a market for the systems that you have in your life. And the coolest thing about licensing, and I've done it over and over and over again, is with Fortune 100 companies, is that you just create a system one time, okay? And you could have many buyers for that system. And while I can't teach you all of how to do that on this live tonight, I can tell you that when you're creating results for people over and over again, there's a process that you're using, and that's a system. And you can put that in in a structure that's proprietary, and you can license that system and sell that system. You can private label that system. Have you ever thought about this? Is this making sense? If this is making sense, I want you to write, Mia, this is making sense. And I wanted to break this down for you today because so many people are sitting on a gold mine called your thoughts, called your ideas, and that all you need to do is figure out how to take what you're doing, put it in a structure, how to package it, how to price it, how to position your marketing around your background and your skills that are distinct to you, and how to set up a simple process to get your ideal customers to come to you. Really simple. Licensing has just changed the game. And the coolest thing about licensing is that, remember when I mentioned duplicate yourself? It's one of the best ways to sell anything because you're duplicating yourself. You are creating a system one time, and that one system you can sell over and over and over and over again. And I want you to understand, if you don't know how to do this, come to the Giant Experience and learn how to do it. Okay, like literally stop trying to teach yourself, open a book and do it. Come to the Giant Experience and learn how to do it. Number 2, consulting. Consulting is a terrific way equally to take what you know, to put it in a structure called training, some type of format that's proprietary. All right. And there are companies and organizations that need your insight. They need your knowledge and your know-how. And they're willing to pay you to support them in creating a transformation in their business. It might be a business transformation. It might be a people transformation. It might be a quantitative transformation. Maybe you can help them, increase some numbers or decrease something that's not working, that's bleeding them. So ultimately, people pay you for a transformation. Always understand this, okay? And I teach my clients that there are 5 or 6 types of transformations, and that's ultimately what people will pay you for. And if you don't understand that, and you need to understand that, okay? You could build a great consulting company based on what you know how to do, what you're already doing in your company. Go out on your own and literally begin to consult, coach, and train. I have a client who is a therapist who I started working with in August of last year. Literally went from working, trading time for dollars, working with clients individually, 50 hours each and every week, to moving her practice to 8 hours each and every week, replacing her business with consulting one-to-many models. It's the same type of thing. And if you don't know how to do it and you're a high-level professional, there is an easier way to work. It's time to renegotiate the way that you earn. I have clients all the time that get contracts that are very large contracts as consultants. All right. And it's their expertise, their insights that allow them to go into other businesses and organizations and support them with elevating, creating a transformation, a process transformation. Maybe you've got a process, a system that could work better for them that they don't already have, a people transformation. Maybe you've got a way to support their people in being better and growing, right? A technological transformation. Maybe you've got some kind of tech background or a tech system that if they implement this, it'll make things quicker, faster, sooner. Are you getting this? Okay. Are you getting value, or are you getting value? I told you I'm not going to hold back today because my only goal is to support those of you who want to take the next part of this year, right? Yes, that's right. The next part of this year, the next couple of months, right? No matter how many months are left. All right. And that you take a stand for your knowledge and understand that every moment that you think about it, you wish about it, you hope about it, but you don't act on it by taking that next step. And I think that's the Giant Experience Master Training. Then you're leaving money on the table. You have to check out some of the testimonials from my clients. You'll see firsthand that many of them, they did not have any business experience at all, but they were sharp, they were smart, just like you. They had the ability to create results, whether in life or whether in an organization already, and they just needed some expertise. They needed someone with a proven track record that supported hundreds of people that they could prove that they have. Not that I'm telling you I've done it, that I can show you, right? You can go to the Giant Experience and look down that page, or go to my YouTube channel and look at the hundreds of testimonials that we can demonstrate the results that we created. So this is not a hype conversation. This is not for my ego. It's fact. And so when you're choosing who you're going to work with, you need to have evidence. And at the end of the day, if someone creates results, there should be proof that they've done it, old and new. And number 3, coaching. Okay. Coaching one-to-many. I know a lot of the women that watch me are coaches already. Maybe you're a coach. And many of them are coaches where they're working with clients one-to-one, and they don't understand more profitable ways to work with their clients to help their clients get even more amazing results. So a lot of times there's this huge fear that building your coaching business one to many, that a lot of people are not going to have demand for what you do. And I found that to be completely the opposite. The reality is that a lot of the women that I work with have desired to meet other women like them. They wanted to meet women who are giants in every way: smart, sharp, ambitious, action takers, high integrity people who show up powerfully for themselves, women who lead from the front. And they just can't find people like themselves. And me assembling for them a community of these thought leaders and incredible women who are doing the work has not only inspired them, but has also been the examples of what you know now is possible. And I'm going to say this to you guys, and I'm going to break this all the way down about coaching. You need to be in a community where there are other people who are on fire and getting amazing results, because that's the culture. And if you're in a coaching program and you don't see a lot of results, people aren't creating a lot of results, you got to ask yourself, why is that? Okay, why is that? We have an incredible community, and they're called giants. And I don't work with anyone, and I only work with people who want it. You have to have the ability to create results for others. You have to be high integrity, an implementer, a go-getter, because at the end of the day, if you want to hit 6 or 7 figures and you don't believe in self-investment or being highly actionable, are we kidding here? Okay. But you've already had an amazing track record of creating incredible results. Isn't that right? Okay. You've already been leading from the front. Okay. You just need a different system to know how to take what you know how to do, what your background is, Georgia, right? And how to put that in a structure, right? You do art therapy, right? Like, likely there is a market for you of others who maybe through licensing, Georgia, you could easily create a system that you sell to other people who do art therapy, right? That you are the person that's licensing your thought leadership. There are many different ways. And so I just want you to think outside of the box that, when you come to the Giant Experience, you have the opportunity for the first time to meet a cohort of women who are just like you. And they are women who are highly packageable, and they are actionable, and they are the kind of women that share and show up, and they believe at a high level in themselves, and they believe at a high level in you, and they're pulling for you. And if you haven't had that in any kind of culture and environment that you're a part of, you need it. Now, let me just speak to this for a minute, because there's so many of us who would say, me, I already have people in my life, my friends, they're very ambitious people. But you need people your own ambition level and above. And I don't know if you're like me. I was always this out of the box person. Okay. Like, I always thought outside of the box. Somehow I thought that I could work from the comfort of my home 20 years ago. I was thinking that 20 years ago. I thought I could work anywhere I choose to around the world. I knew that I could work with clients one to many. And I wanted to be in community with other women who for themselves had out of the box dreams as well, so that I wasn't dealing with people asking me all the time, how are you going to do this? You know how when your friends aren't congruent, and they don't see what you see, there's how in the world are you going to do it? Or it makes it sound like what you're saying is pie in the sky. You need a community of people who are giants, who get you, who understand you. And you need a mentor who's taken that walk with you. All right. I always tell my clients, many of my clients have done things that I have never done, and I love it. The reality is that many of my clients, within a few weeks, and you'll see it on the testimonial page for the Giant Experience, just scroll to the bottom, many of them have been able to close 6-figure deals within a couple of weeks. Close deals, 50 grand, 10 grand. Okay. I mean, they did things I never did in business when I first got started in business at the exact same time. And I believe that a great coach, their clients are going to stand on their shoulders, and you're going to get there quicker, faster, and sooner, and you should. And we applaud that in our community. It is something that I have an appetite for. So I want to open the floor really quickly, see if you have any questions or ahas or takeaways today. I wanted to share with you three ways that you could hit 6 or 7 figures with your knowledge. And number one is licensing. And if you haven't thought about licensing, I've just talked to you about it. Number two, okay, it's consulting. And number three is coaching. And I want to invite you, the next best step, if you're like, man, this makes sense, and I've been trying to figure out how to do it, is check out the Giant Experience Master Training and sign up for the next class. And it's my opportunity to coach you directly around a distinct way that you can take what you're doing and package your knowledge into a high ticket product on or offline, and teach you equally how to price to fully value the transformation that you bring to the table. And it's different for every single one of them. And also how to position your marketing in the, like in a way that you become the obvious choice and competition becomes irrelevant. Ultimately, people choose you because you have the ability to create results for others. Okay. So if you're really amazing at creating results for others, competition is irrelevant, right? Because it's not about show and tell, right? Like a lot of times in school, remember, we talked a lot about show and tell. I'm going to tell you what I do, and I'm going to show you that I did it. And I can show you that I do it if I have the ability to create results for others. And that's what I show my clients how to do. And then also how to find buyers, how to close, and how to sell. And if you don't know how to strategically have a sales conversation, I show my clients a couple of different ways, real natural ways that you can go from not knowing how to sell anything, right, to being able to have a sales conversation without being scripted, with understanding based on who you are and what your background is, how to have that premium sales conversation for your, with your client. And I believe this, that when we market the right way, your ideal clients come to you and they ask you for the sale. All of my clients have come to me, and I teach my clients also how to get their clients to come to them, in opposed to feeling like I need to go hunting for clients or stealing clients or spending 1 million hours online. All of those things. You don't need to do that. There's an organic and natural way for you to just be yourself and attract your ideal clients. Just like you guys are here right now. You're here because you chose to be here. And if what I've said has resonated with you, many of you will take that journey. Robin, you've taken that journey. You're coming to the Giant Experience Master Training at the end of the month. And I'm so excited about having the opportunity to support you with up leveling what you're doing. And I can tell you that it's going to change your life. So I want to open the floor. Any ahas, any takeaways? What were the biggest ahas or takeaways? Or are there any questions that you have for me? Any questions that you have for me? Any questions on the floor that you have for me? Okay. And it's been just a pleasure to be here today. I'm so excited to be here and to have had the opportunity just to share with you just a tad, like just a taste of what's possible for you if you just step into that next level for yourself. And I want you to know that it is possible. When I got started, I was hoping that I could take what I was doing and leverage all of my background as a corporate trainer. And I've done exactly that. And I pull back the layers for my clients step by step, and I show them exactly what I've done. There's nothing I'm teaching that I'm reading or is theoretical or any of that stuff. I show them exactly what I've done. I teach them how I've been able to renegotiate the way that I earn and the way that I live, and it's changed my entire life. And I want to see more women step into their next level as well. Okay, last call for questions or comments, ahas or takeaways. Let's see. Damilola says, thank you. I feel more confident moving forward. I'm manifesting your training in the future. Yes. Okay. I love your picture. Awesome. Any other ahas? Any other takeaways? Any other ahas? Any other takeaways? Any other ahas or takeaways? Okay. What was okay, let's see. Quinn, I like your name. Okay. What was my greatest challenge? I think that one of the biggest challenges that I had, Quinn, is I had an out of the box dream, right? So at this time, 20 years ago, no one knew what a mom strategist was. So when I was talking about what I wanted to do, there wasn't an audience already for what I mean, there was an audience for it, but there weren't mom coaches out there. And so I realized that I had to lead from the front. And a lot of times I found that I was explaining to people over and over again what a mom strategist was, but I just had to believe in myself. And so I began to invest in myself, a lot of books. I've read a tremendous amount, and I learned from that process the importance of, um, just understanding that self belief is so important when you're building a business, because when we don't believe in ourselves, we look for other people for approval. We will ask our husband, do you think this is the right time for me to invest? We'll ask our girlfriends, when at the end of the day, it's your choice, it's your life. And I think that was the biggest challenge that I had, just full transparency around that. Robin says, your testimony about your husband is inspiring, because being in the right position when challenges come in life is key. That surely impacted his career. It did. And it's one of the things that I love to share, because I take a stand for women not taking a stand for themselves. Because I realized that had I not built this business this way, it could have looked a lot of different ways. Now is the time. This idea of you got to find the money, you got to find the time. If that is a statement you're making, that is the reason you need to say yes to yourself today and figure it out. And that's what I did. I mean, I just invested in myself at the highest levels. Very, very important. Okay. And then there's a Facebook user that writes, you really can start with where you are at right now. That's exciting. Absolutely. You can start with what you have. And what you know is very valuable, properly packaged. Georgia says, your IP is your gold. Nice takeaway for me. Perfect. Okay. And let's see. Damelia says, what really shifted your mindset for you to transform yourself? What books do you recommend? One of my favorite books, and I tell all my clients this, is Read What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Another book that I love is that You're Born an Original, Don't Die a Copy. You see, someone can copy you, but the pace is always going to be different. You bring all of you to the table all the time. I've learned that. I've been in boardrooms that when I got started, never even imagined. I remember pitching to an ITV, which is one of the largest distributors of television shows in the world. And it was because of my self-investment that when I showed up in the rooms, I didn't shrink. And I realized in that moment that I was so grateful I had done the work of my own esteem, that I was never looking to the right or looking to the left or wondering if I was good enough. I knew that in order for me to own all of who I was, I had to do that inner work. And that's so important. It's one of the things that I teach my clients as well. It's a walk that I take. It's very important for you if you're running a business. And then Quinn writes, thanks for sharing. You bet. So important. You guys had some really great comments tonight, ahas, and some takeaways. And that's my goal, is just to support you with understanding that what you know is very valuable. And Georgia writes, how did you know who to say no to when deciding on the right contracts? That's a bigger question than I can answer tonight, but I can tell you, if you come to the Giant Experience, we can talk more specifically about what that could look like. But I knew for myself, I only pitched high. So I ended up always working with Fortune 100 and 500 companies. And because I became from working with a Fortune 100 company as a corporate trainer, I understood what that market desires and how things need to be packaged to be sold. And, one arm of my business is that I write curriculum for clients at the highest level. And and I ghostwrite, their curriculum and their process and their thought leadership, because it's just something that I know how to do really well. It just depends, right, on what a company wants and why they were created and what is it that you do and how you can support them. So check out the Giant Experience. I know that I can help you. And Damola, I hope I'm saying your name right. Wow, thank you so much, Ray. Awesome. I appreciate you. And Georgia sends the flowers and the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And Sheila, as always, says, I love it. This resonated with you. I'm glad that you're here. I always like to have an honest conversation with the women that follow me, because nothing happens unless you show up for yourself 100%. And so I'm gonna see if I can find a clip. Let me see if I can find a clip. And if I can find the clip, then I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So let me see if I can find it. And if I can, then I'll share it with you. And if I can't, then obviously I can't. So let's see, which one is this? All right. And all right. I think I'm going to be able to share this with you guys. Okay. All right. So hang in there with me. Okay. So, one of the things that I found is that as a mom, we're no longer multitasking, we're megatasking.
Yeah.
Okay. And isn't that true? In motherhood, we are still growing in our own lives, and we forget about that. And that's why I think it's so important to build support for yourself that's relevant, because we change.
And I think when you give your family a choice, this or that, no is not an option. Mia?
What's your advice for when they do the chore, but they don't do it completely?
Well, I think anytime you're teaching your children how to do a task, you have to be open to a level of transition in terms of how they're going to do it.
The next time you and your family need a getaway, try a staycation. What I mean by that is explore in your hometown, play a tourist. It's an inexpensive and wonderful way to spend quality time with your family on a budget.
Easy tips for keeping yourself up to date from our mom strategist.
We all know the deal. We as parents often put ourselves last on the list, but it's really important to take great care of ourselves. Every day can be fun if you plan for it. That's why I love creating a family fun kit. A family fun kit is an easy and simple way for you to have fun with your family in an instant.
When we start motherhood, it doesn't come with a manual. Okay?
Amen.
And no one has a perfect way or perfect path for you.
Just really kind of, though, help with their connection still with each other, which is still, Mia, so important. And it's just tougher to do when they're not able to see each other in person, isn't it?
It is, but there are some things you can do. I would say, number one, really participate in person when possible. Tip number one is get a pass. Okay, a lot of times moms just let summer happen to them, and I'm suggesting that you get a pass so that to a museum or a botanical gardens, for example, great exploration.
So mom strategist Mia Redrick made a house call to give them some practical solutions. Take a look and see how it went.
Hi.
Hi, Mia. I'm Ali.
What do you miss most about your life?
Oh my gosh, being with my husband.
Do you all date at all?
Date? What's that?
No date night.
And then what about in terms of family time?
We try to connect at dinner and stuff, but it ends up usually being pretty chaotic.
I've got some great ideas that are going to help you, and we're going to have some fun today.
Welcome the author of Time for Mommy, 365 Daily Strategies for Mother's Self-Care, Mia Redrick. Mia, thank you so much. Stand up, please. Pleasure, pleasure. I really feel for this family. You did help them with some tips, but what can we all take away from this?
Well, Dear Time is such a simple way to build quality in your family time and to make self-care a reality every single day. It's simple.
Hi, my name is Patton, and I help professional women overcome their challenges and adversities to find their voice and to use it to advocate for themselves, for others, and for the causes that they believe in. I participated in Mia's Giant Virtual Experience Conference, and I got so much value out of it. I especially love the time that she took with the women in answering each and every one of their questions, and I had a lot of questions. And the answers that she gave me and listening to the others, I decided to take that and pitch myself to an organization to do some monthly coaching and consulting. And guess what, ladies? They said yes. I have a contract value of $144,000 for the year of 2021. That's $12,000 a month, about double of what I would normally charge. So thank you so much, Mia, for helping me overcome my challenge to use my voice to advocate for myself. I so appreciate all the work that you're doing with the women, especially in the Giant virtual experience conference. It was awesome. If you're on the fence, go for it. You'll get so much out of it. Thank you so much, Mia.
I have amazing news. It's not even been 24 hours since the conference ended, and a client that I'm working with just asked about how she can book, a year-long coaching contract, and I put a number out there at $15K, and that might be 4 contracts by night because of the meetings I have today. I'm just blown away. Before, working with Mia in the context and listening to all of your amazing thinking and hearing all of this, giants, I just didn't understand how to think about packaging in any way. I just looked at it as relationships, but the wisdom and the clarity in what Mia teaches is allowing me to think through what I offer and what I'm doing with people in a way that makes it much more digestible for them and for me, honestly. And so I just want to say thank you and encourage everybody to really do the work of that Mia provides us, what amazing prompts and everything, and how quickly you can take what you have and make it something that's more accessible. I'm just blown away and so filled with gratitude this morning for all of your energy and for Mia's amazing gifts that she shares with us. Thank you. And let's get to it, giants. Let's go and change the world.
Hi, this is Deborah Porter. I'm with Moms Mentoring Circle. I support and mentor at-home moms with systems that help them to organize their lives, their homes, their children, and to reach the goals that they've set for themselves. I met Mia Redrick about 4 months ago in November at the Time for Mommy retreat in Baltimore, and I'm so thankful that I did. I had already watched several of her webinars and knew that I wanted to get to know her better, to see if she really could support and help me with what I desired to do. Even at that moment, I wasn't exactly sure what I desired to do. But being with Mia has allowed me to pull out my own natural strengths, talents, and abilities, and to be able to then offer that to other at-home moms, as I was an at-home mom for over 20 years. So Mia, thank you so much for helping us to find the best part of ourselves, pull on that, and then to offer that to other people. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've taught me. I'm still learning and enjoying the community that you've created for all of us. And I just thank you for all of the time and effort you put into causing us to rise up like giants. Thanks again.
So, okay, I hope you enjoyed, and it's been a pleasure being here tonight or today when you're watching this. If you're watching the replay, make sure you write your comments here. I'm so excited, and I look forward to seeing you inside of the circle, right? I love you guys. Talk to you next Monday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you.